Hello, this is Greg the Rural Economist, and welcome to the Wild Edibles series. This is going to be Wild Edibles number 23. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about curly dock. But before we do that, you know we've got to do the disclaimer. There's a lot of things out there that are good to eat, good for you, and some of them actually taste good. There's a lot of others, however, that are not. So if you're not completely certain what a plant is, don't eat it until after you've consulted with a local expert. Now, since we're going to be talking about some of the medicinal values of this plant, I've got to add this as well. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a master herbalist, I'm just a guy who's crazy about wild edible and medicinal plants. If you have any of the things that we're going to be talking about today, talk to your doctor or master herbalist before you start any treatment. Okay, with that, we're going to be talking about curly dock today. For those of you who like the Latin name, it is rumex crispus. Okay, all right. Curly dock is a perennial herb. Now, it dies back to the root every single year. But then the next year, since its root is more developed, it's able to grow a heck of a lot faster. It is a rhubarb relative in the buckwheat family. The leaves, now this is something important, the leaves can be poisonous to cattle and sheep. The seeds can be toxic to chickens, and the leaves have been indicated as a possible toxin for horses as well. Now, the leaves have a light lemony flavor to them. Can be eaten raw in salads, can be stir-fried or blanched and used as a vegetable. It was actually a very important vegetable in the United States during the Great Depression. Not only can the leaves be eaten, but a second year stalk, when it first starts producing its stalk, can be peeled and eaten as well. If I can get it done, there we go. And you do have to peel it because the peeling is actually quite fibrous. So, one more time. Like I said, it's a perennial. The first year it grows in a rosette pattern flush with the ground, which means the leaves, and that's where the lemony flavor really kicks in. That's pretty good stuff. So the leaves are in a circular pattern and it's really low to the ground the first year. The next year, it kind of grows up, and after just a little bit it starts putting out a center stalk. This is about a 3 or a 4 year plant right here. Now, gotta get my notes. It was introduced from Europe. There are native species of dock. The leaves actually have more vitamin A, or actually a vitamin A precursor, beta carotene, than a carrot. High in vitamin C and in zinc. The seeds are rich in calcium and fiber, but they're kind of low in protein and fat. The leaves can be frozen if you're wanting to store for long term, can be dried if you're wanting to store for long term. You can actually dry them, powder them, and then use them as an adjunct in like pastas and soups and things like that if you're wanting to give them an extra vitamin boost. Well-hydrated plants taste better. This is actually abnormal for a lot of herbs because a lot of herbs actually do better with some stresses. That's not the case with this plant. It's also one of the most commonly poisoned plants out there. So any place where somebody might use like a weed and feed or a Roundup or anywhere where there's a chance of high carbon monoxide or like car fumes, don't harvest there, okay? The root can be used as a laxative. Now this is actually something that I think is really cool. If I can get it out of the ground. Yeah. The root can be used as a laxative. It can also be peeled and crushed and used as a topical treatment for all kinds of skin problems. The seeds can actually be used to treat diarrhea. So, constipated, use the root. Stopped up or too loose, use the seeds. The seeds later on, now these are actually the flowers. They're little bitty, kind of almost heart-shaped, and I don't know if you can see it. Inside each and every one of those little flowers is a seed. Once it dries and turns brown, and there's none here that have turned brown, I'm sure you've seen it. Once it turns brown, you can actually cut this plant off even with the ground, get you like a garbage bag, and just shake the hound out of it and collect all the seeds. The seeds can then be ground into something that is very similar to a buckwheat flour. Since it is a perennial, if you wait till this dies back, the very next year you're gonna have the plant again. So it's actually probably the most renewable flour that you could have. Now it's gonna take a boatload of seeds to make flour, but you know, hey. Now, if you suffer from like kidney stones, you're going to want to lay light on this plant because it has been known to contribute to kidney and gallstones. But this is curly dock. Now, common names is curly dock, yellow dock, lemon dock, and then I've actually heard it called Prince's Plume. So, kind of like a feather, you know. All right. I hope you enjoyed it. We got more coming. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up or a share, and would love to hear your comments, questions, or anything like that. Step by step, we're bringing rural back. Bye-bye.